Shalom, shalom, shalom. What's going on, family? What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? Hope everybody's doing well. Thank everybody for tuning in as well. We are on point. We're on point today. I think everybody's ready. Grace, peace, and many blessings to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. It is going down. We have our brother, Northeast African researcher, Brother Stephen Graham. I mean, he needs to somebody need to give him an honorary doctorate degree for the work that he does in the field. Awesome brother. And so waiting on him to come on. While we wait for him to come on, we're going to play some music. He's also an artist as well. So we're going to wait for his music to jump on here. And we're going to go from there, all right? But truly blessed to be in the building, man. I hope everybody's doing well. And we're going to get into some of it right here in just a moment when he comes on. And definitely excited. Definitely excited for what we have going on with him, all right? He's going to be on just here shortly, and we're going to go from there. We're going to play some music here, and we'll be back with Stephen Graham.
Yeah. Wisdom is better than silver and gold. Don't gain the world and lose war. Lose your soul. Benny a call for the warrior them. We never stop fight for what he believe in. Never. In the fulfillment of prophecy we're living. Thanks and giving. Thanks for giving. Forever merciful is the most high. We never stop fight for what he believe in. One time. In the fulfillment of prophecy we're living. Thanks and giving. Thanks for giving. Forever merciful is the most high.
Merciful is the Father. We so hard headed, why bother? In prison minds don't think well. Gotta climb out of this deep hell. Born warrior, double Ed's gon' scorn ya. Ready to mind for the culture. Keep my eyes on these vultures. So I'm never gonna stop fighting for what I believe in. Living in this world so deceiving. Thanks I'm giving. Thanks I'm giving. Forever merciful is the most high. I'm never gonna stop fighting for what I believe in. Blessed every day above ground I'm receiving. Thanks I'm giving. Thanks I'm giving. Forever merciful be the most high. Yeah.
We never stop fight for what he believe in. Never. In the fulfillment of prophecy we're living. Thanks I'm giving. Thanks for giving. Forever merciful is the most high. We never stop fight for what he believe in. One time. In the fulfillment of prophecy we're living. Thanks I'm giving. Thanks for giving. Forever merciful is the most high.
I tell you, up still wasn't, but now it is.
The struggle, the sorrow, the pain, the stress. Life constantly throwing us tests. Keep your faith and your way do the rest. Yeah. I see the wicked and Christian, wicked and spiritual system, let them illusion and end. I know it's all energy. Love and hate could never be friends. Never. Mother Earth ways for the innocent shedding our blood. My people are drawn to the mud. That's why no one is so water. The bones I know the true daughters. Oh yeah. Babylon, you're gonna drown in your confusion. Come out, but the Egypt is pollution. Not take it literally, part not innocence. Repair the man before the physical journey begins. The Holy Land is calling. Just in the ancient top, there's no stalling.
Yeah. Most High said, who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity.
All right. I see we got Brother Stephen Graham in here, and we're gonna definitely play another video, and then when we play that video, we will be back to interview Stephen Graham.
To educate the youths. Yeah, we own the truth. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. On the earth is our home, vibrations and tones. Giving up in the universe, don't you see? Who to realize, we realize. Changing polarity, maximizing the best out of their post and destruction them see. But like they in a bit, destroy war. Are they crazy? Foolish dogs, stop back of the flying bird. There's so much to see, people mark my word. Finest they want fight, got to leave you behind. You're in at my side. You're in at my side. I got so much things to say. At the end of the day, what to benefit all? I got so much things to say. At the end of the day, what to benefit all? Let this be a warning to each and every one. Misallusion, lower meditation. Heaven and earth are so balanced, diverse, yin and yang. That's a man can define higher vibration, elevation. Spirit is where I come from. My essence has no shape, no acid form. Yes, it manifests itself from sundown to dawn. In the cycle of life. In this flesh I was born, the Hebrew child come feel experience and feel one. I look for missing for me, now come here, be more. In the earth, they come with lightning, thunder, and storm. I got so much things to say. At the end of the day, what to benefit all? I got so much things to say. At the end of the day, what to benefit all? Want to disconnect the youth, so they will hold the truth. Reading lies, materialize, reality past one's eyes. Trapped in the dunya of sin. But the power of the unseen is remarkable and can purify anything. True love may come for bring, got your pulsating, and my touching your deep breathing. Feeling the bass and the drum, in my heart Jerusalem, the great city of the living King. I got so much things to say. At the end of the day, what the benefit all? I got so much things to say. At the end of the day, what the benefit of? On earth is our home, vibrations and tones. Giving up in the universe, don't you see? Who to realize, we realize. Changing polarity, maximizing the best out of the post that be.
All right, brother. That was our brother Stephen Graham right there. We're going to get back to our conversation. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Can you hear me? Stephen, can you hear me? What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Shalom, can you hear me? You can hear me?
Okay,
Yeah?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Shalom,
Stephen, can you hear me? What's going on, brother? How you doing? I think you might have to turn your phone. If you have your phone, you might have to turn the volume down on your phone.
I'm on my laptop.
You're on your laptop? Hold on. If you have your phone, you might have to turn the volume down on your phone.
No, I'm on my laptop. My phone's on.
Okay, I'm getting a feedback. Sound like an echo. All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're unmuting me.
All right.
You hear me?
This is like a delay.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where it's coming from. Hold on.
It's all good, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where it's coming from. Hold on.
All right. What about now?
Can you hear me clear?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's like I can hear it twice. I don't know.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Go back out and click the link and come back in. Hold on, let me see here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Oh, okay, I think I know what's going on.
And, click the link
Cool,
and
cool.
come
I
back
know what's
in.
going on.
Is your Facebook?
I'm turning my Facebook off. How about now?
Okay. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, I have my Facebook on at the same time. Cool.
Okay. Let me see here. Your volume. Try to get your volume up
Yeah, how about now?
on your mic. Sound kind of low.
Sounds low still?
That sounds a little bit. I can hear it, but hold on. It may be maybe for them, but we'll make it do what it do. I can hear you on this end as long as everybody else can
They can hear me.
can hear you.
Let me just.
Don't put your headphones on.
Yeah, apologies everybody now, and I'm gonna plug in a mic, external mic. See if that sounds better.
All right. Shalom, shalom, everybody. We good. We good. All right, everybody in the chat. I see Brother Jalen said that you're good. I think everybody can hear you. Maybe on my end, but I can still hear you as well. So let's get into it, man. Brother Stephen Graham, go ahead and let everybody know. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's great. That is fabulous.
Cool. Yeah,
That's
music.
fabulous.
All right, cool.
All right, Brother Stephen Graham, what's going on, man? We've been rocking for a minute, man, and we did a little bit of this on Instagram before, but Instagram was acting up. It didn't save it. And so now we're back, went ahead and got that Zoom. Big shout out to Zoom for this, man. I think this is going to be a great time on today. As many of you know, we had Dr. Tudor Parfit on last week, who actually is a scholar in the field. He dealt with just the limba side, in which myself as well as my brother Stephen Graham also has limba DNA as well. And so we're going to get into this today and talk about some things. It's great to have had Dr. Tudor on because his expertise area just deals with the DNA aspect of it, dealing with the limba. But Stephen Graham is on the other side of it. Dr. Tudor is more so he was on the West African side and South side and East side, I guess, of Africa. But Brother Stephen Graham is more so, he deals along in the area of dealing with what is called the Middle East or Northeast Africa, all the way over to the Arabian side of things. And I'm proud and I'm glad to be able to thank the Most High for linking me with this brother. Me and him chop it up. We were chopping up earlier on some things, and he is definitely solid when it comes to the Quran, as well as when it comes down to the Bible. And so there's some things that he can help us on and give us some clarity on. He visits Israel often and things of that nature. And so he gets it from the non-political side. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Brother Stephen Graham. Introduce yourself, man. I know you. Some of the people on here, they may know you. A whole lot of them don't know you. We have Christians as well as Israelites who watch my platform or whatnot. And so introduce yourself, where you're residing at and all of that good stuff. And we go from there.
Okay, I'm Stephen Graham. I'm currently residing in the UK, in London. I'm a documentary filmmaker as well as other things. I've made 19 documentaries, ranging from documentaries filmed in Northeast Africa, like from Jordan, Morocco, Palestine, Egypt, all the way with documentaries I've made in the UK and also in the US. I run a self-funded production company, so I do as the Most High allows me to do, and I go that way. I'm also a mentor and youth worker. I work with young people and troubled families. I also teach martial arts to young people. It's a good discipline, and I also am a music. I also do music. I'm also a recording artist. Just to name a few things that I do.
That's what's up. So, brother, how it kind of talk to us about how you got into the whole filmmaking, documentary making, traveling, because you are definitely I consider yourself a traveler, even though you self-funded and things of that nature. You have some other things coming up, but we're going to deal with certain, we're going to narrow it down to a smaller area because we want to talk about a couple of different topics, dealing with who enslaved us. I know a lot of brothers talk about the white man and stuff like that, and we want to deal with also some of the areas of the Moroccan Jews and things like that. But what made you get into this sphere of filmmaking, whether it's dealing from, especially more so in the Holy Land? What made you get into that?
Technically it goes back to my mother. I grew up in a household, mother, absent father. I got a book coming out as well about my life. I'm also an author. And as a youth growing up, a bit of a wild child on the streets. And my mother, I grew up knowing my granddad would always say, well, he's a Black Judean. That's why I dedicated my first documentary, Northeast Africa, The Hidden Truth, to my mother. My mom's name was Juanita Bathsheba Shamuel. She has a Hebrew name. My grandfather also likewise. But I never, when you're young growing up around, I don't really take those things, didn't take that culture stuff seriously. You know what I mean? So I was wild. I had my own issues, my own situations. But spending some time in the pen, I did a long time. That kind of inspired me to read a lot and pick up the Bible. And then I read the Bible, the whole Bible twice, from front to back, from Genesis all the way back to Revelation. I read the whole Bible twice. And I sent for a Hebrew Bible and taught myself to read biblical Hebrew. And I read that once in prison. And of course I read the Quran. So, I used my time profitably. And at the same time, I did a lot of self-reflection as well. Worked on my own trauma and the things I was going through. The fact that psychological trauma, and everyone faces different type of trauma. I was going through my own psychological trauma, physical trauma as a youth. Plus, everybody has a sense of religious trauma, by what we've been through and the things we've said, we've heard. So that's also the next thing, that in regards to my new book I'm writing, I cover that topic, religious trauma. That's a big thing. A lot of us don't realize, the concept even of a European Jesus and, miseducation of who we are as a people. That's traumatized itself. That's generational trauma as well. Do you get what I mean? So I had enough time, thank the Most High, it was a blessing. I had enough time to reflect on myself and analyze myself. So I came out 2006. I told myself I want to get into this, doing documentary but I wanted to go to university first. So I went to university first and get myself a qualification in medicine. So I got a degree in medicine. I'm a musculoskeletal rehabilitating specialist. So I worked a lot.
Hold on. So you have a degree?
Yeah.
Wait. So you're not I know you went, time coming up. Most of us had a time coming up. We've been to jail or some form of nature like that. But you are an educated brother. So I want everyone to understand, because he's melanated, because there's this mindset that many of us who are, Hebrews or Israelites seem to think that we don't carry degrees. We're uneducated. We have
uneducated.
No, I just wanted to make sure you that you.
I just thought you. I got a BSc I got a BSc GSR letters behind my name. I just don't use them. So yeah, I'm educated.
Okay. That's all I want. I just wanted that to be stated, because again, there's this mindset that we just pulling stuff out of the air, and that none of us are educated. We don't have any degrees.
I'm very educated. I got loads of qualifications. If I had to bring up my education book, right? I didn't have it before, but I put my mind to it. The thing is, we're powerful people. I mean, we're universally connected. We can do anything we want. Do you get what I'm saying? And we can't. This again, the next part of trauma. We can't let people tell us or dictate to us what we can achieve and what we can't accomplish. When I did it, having no qualifications, I came out road and got myself a degree, and I got loads of qualifications to go with it. Now I'm a specialist in a lot of different fields in regards to medicine. So because I do like physiotherapy, but I'm a I'm a bit different from a normal physiotherapist. I'm a bit higher.
All right. So
in 2012, anyway, I decided,
yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to in 2012. I graduated in 2011 from university. In 2012, I decided I want to now. I've achieved that aspect of qualifications. Worked with a lot of athletes, even Olympic athletes, and I said to myself, I want to now go out to. I want to go and do the things that was always my heart when I was incarcerated. I came out in 2006, like I said, in 2006. So I went to Israel, and then that was just the beginning of my documentary journey, man. I just started making documentaries, and I started connecting. Everywhere I went, the most I put me with the right people. I made contacts with people that, I didn't actually know see or meet. But the most I, put these people in my place, and is an instant connect, it's instant spirit. And, the Bible defines of people, who connect. We had a literal instant connection. I had people like Sheikh Aid, and it was just from there, everything just went just amazing. Like, I just started making documentaries after documentaries. I didn't know how to make films at first. I got the footage. I came back to England, determined to, and a friend of my nephew's, he edited my documentary. He helped me. He taught me how to edit basically. I did a basic part of it. Then he did all the after effects to, finish off the rest of the documentary, North East Africa. And from there, I just haven't looked back. I've just made documentary after documentary. And if Corona didn't happen, I would have been in East Africa right now making documentaries. So,
right, which is something we kind of talked about. Talked about going to Ethiopia and things.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: so the people that you met during the time you went to Israel, you developed a relationship with, a bond with. This is
family now.
Family. Yeah, family. Become family and things like that. Were those people ever enslaved?
Nah.
Have they ever left? Now we're talking Black people.
No. Never be enslaved. Never be enslaved. Never left the land. Never left the Never be enslaved. Never left the land. Technically.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Nah, they own lands. I mean, there's a documentary called Seek of a Desert. You can see I bring to the documentary Seek of a Desert, and even though it's Africa, but Seek of a Desert, Sheikh allows us to show the documentary for Kafiri, which is a massive piece of land. They have desert, massive desert that's owned by the family for donkeys. The Savior can't do nothing with it.
Now is this the documentary? Is this the same one? Because I was watching one with you and Sheikh Aid, and he was at the land that his family owned.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, Seek of a Desert.
Right. Yeah. The Israelis put a fence up there, but he still owned the land. And the older
they use it for the army because they can't build up on it because he's got land titles in it, so they can't do that.
Right.
So they just use it for like military because it's massive land. They can't with it.
And it used to be very plenteous.
Yeah. I mean, but then that's like it's like the Holy Land on the whole. The Holy Land on the whole was a very very luxury. A lot of people look at the Holy Land today and think that's how it was. In antiquity, it was dusty and deserted. Egypt neither was like that before. It was very fertile land. But we got to understand our connections to the land, innit? When the Most High created Adam, he created Adam and gave Adam dominion over all things. And mankind's connection to the land isn't something to be underestimated or underlooked at. And a lot of us don't realize how important it is the things we do and where we think or the actions that happen. And even sadly, those who even afflict us don't realize that, or maybe they do. But the reaction that happens when we're not vibrating with the universe, it causes this devastation on the earth. Do you get what I mean? So if the earth, if people are mourning, the earth also mourns with you. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I'll break it down, make it easy for you. Let's use that scripture just to kind of move away from Sheikh Hay's situation. But again, they took them off that land, and then taking people off the land, or again, the land reacts to the people. Now I explained to you through the scriptures. When you look at like I said, remember Adam and Eve was given dominion over all things. When you look at the connection we have with the universe, Adam was came from the earth, etc. When we as a people don't realize the connection, I'm talking about mankind as a whole, not just Israelites, mankind as a whole, don't realize that the things we do have effects on the universe. Our very thoughts, our very actions affect the universe. When you look at when we came to the Holy Land, it said when the spies went in, they said the land was fruitful, it was etc. Right? Then when the Trinity started sinning, what did the Most High say? The land will become barren. And then when in the times that we to return now, it says that waters will start flowing back again, and the land will become fruitful again, and it will be luxurious. So this desert place, what we see today, and which we know certain parts of Judea is actually currently they're actually saying that, and they're actually showing that it's actually coming back again, redeveloping again. So the point I'm making, that's not by hands of man, that's by the ways of the Most High, and by us, by we understanding who we are. We send out we send out energy in our daily activities, our daily things we do. We send out energy in the universe, every thought, every emotion. That's why scriptures makes it very clear, you know, even the Most High knows your heart in it. It's not just by what you say and what you do, but your heart, the Most High knows. We're very connected to the universe, and we have to understand on a deeper level, especially the Israelites. People, our importance and our connection to the universe. Mankind no whole needs to understand that, but especially Israelites, because of the duties we have within the earth, we need to really understand the things we say and what we do and how it affects the universe. And I think if people really understand the deeper connection of who we are, remember we look at things like Moses and the greatness Moses and David, with David was singing, the birds were singing, David, the connection man had to the universe. Solomon likewise known to be very connected to the universe. Adam was given that dominion from the beginning. That's something that man naturally had. But of course, we've lost that. But the reality is, man needs to get back to the connection of the Most High, and we know in them times, the Spirit of the Most High is poured upon all flesh, or those who will be chosen. It will be great and glorious times in the earth, innit? Because there'll be a very strong connection with man and universe again. And this is what we need to understand. This is what the laws was all guiding us towards. The law was never just a physical law. It was a law that had spiritual wealth. And in fact, it said if you plant fruit for 6 years, leave the 7th year, don't trouble it. Let the earth replenish. You know, there's ways how we must deal with the universe, and I think we've kind of run away from that aspect to understand how connected we are to the universe. We just get along with our daily lives, not realizing how close we are. Do you get what I mean?
Let's do this. I want to go into one of the first documentary that you. I'm gonna play the trailer, and it is the Middle East Deception. So, name some of the people in there. Who are they?
Okay, Sheikh Kaid, I call him my father, uncle, brother, Sheikh Kaid, amazing brother. Sheikh Kaid from Sega Shalom, amazing, he's a Bedouin from Tel Aviv tribe. There's Ali Jeddah, he's from the African quarters, which you don't hear about in Jerusalem. His story and his travel is amazing still, and his journey in life on the whole is just amazing. Amazing character, amazing energy. Beautiful person, really strong in spirit. There's Sheikh Ahmadiel, Sa'id Hakim from Dimona. They left from Chicago, came to Israel. And you've got, who else? You've got, I don't remember. But yeah, it's, and then, I can't remember anybody else. So mine's a bit far.
Okay, so let's get into it, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about it.
In your eyes, this land, the Holy Land, what they call Israel, Palestine, this is Africa. This is Africa.
We've done a great job in being able to demonstrate that this is Northeast Africa. And once we begin to look at it as such, and we stop believing this idea of Israel being a part of the Middle East.
Go over here, and I'm going to show you where Israel sits on the African tectonic plate, which means that Israel is Northeast Africa.
What do you mean Middle East? Is there an Upper East, a Lower East? What do you mean Middle East?
For most of the blacks, they have a confusion about Israel. This is your home. This is your land.
But you know, the government before the Turkish people come here, they control this land for 400 years, and they left, and we stay in the desert. Then the English, the government of English people, they come here, maybe control some for a little time, and they left. And we stay here, and now it's the Israeli, and we stay here, and we will continue to stay in this land.
He's from Africa. صعبة نحن 10 دورات 10 generations here.
The black people here in this land, it's not for the last 100 years or something like this. It's more than 1,000 of years.
We are deeply rooted in this country. We are talking about generations and generations.
The evidence is hands down. It's not even something that we engage in a debate on about the dark-skinned nature of the peoples that lived in these regions in antiquity.
They're not original here. They know that we are the original
people here.
The reality is that we tend to look at this land based on what we've seen in contemporary times. And what do we see? We see fair-skinned Israelis, and we see fair-skinned Arabs.
הייתה פלסטין, הייתה before the Palestinian, before the Turkish Empire.
I have a book called The Arabs. I believe the author's name is Bertrand Thomas. On page 339, he says the original inhabitants of Arabia were not the more familiar Arabs of our own time, but a very much darker people.
You see this people in the mosque? I say, you see this people in the mosque? They don't want the black in the mosque to become the imam, the first man who did this. Then he start to say Hassan al-Basri, this education from the black people. So don't say it. They say what? They say yeah. You have to become to become the leader. He say Hassan al-Basri. You have to stand the imam and don't say Hassan al-Basri. He say my cousin Hassan al-Basri, my brother Hassan al-Basri.
You can see we began when Israel came to Palestine, but I'm quite sure we are even before and before and before.
You look at the name of Palestine, it was the name that the Romans gave to the land formerly known as Judea.
Another thing about America is that at the Last Supper, if you remember, Yeshua and the disciples were sitting around the table, and they had glass ware on the table. They were not drinking out of glass. I just watched the TV one time. I see a movie on the TV. I see this is Zaydawana. I see they put it in the TV. He's white. But everybody know, even the white, they know this kid Al-Alani is a black.
If you take the map of the whole city, you never find the African quarter. You will find Christian quarter, Armenian, Jewish, Muslim quarter, but there is the African quarter.
National TV about Palestinian suffering. If you ever see a black brother, but we suffer the same.
People from our people. They regard Jesus to be black, Moses, Muhammad, Abraham.
All right, so we're back. You there?
Yeah, bro.
All right, man. I encourage everybody to go on YouTube and check out SG Media and go on there and check out the full documentary of that, what you just saw. It's about 2 hours long. You definitely want to go see it. Very informative, and everyone on there is definitely highly trustworthy of the information that's being presented, because they not only live in the land, but many of them never left the land of Israel. And so as you see, Sheikh Aid that was there, he was talking about, it's black people to the land of Israel isn't, 100 years, but more than 1,000. So what, during that filming of that documentary, what were some things after you finished? What were some things that stood out for us information-wise about what they were sharing?
Just the importance of us knowing who we are, and just knowing the history of that region, because a lot of people look at that region we call Middle East, Northeast Africa, as not really part of the African continent, or you don't really, during media you don't really see black people, people of African melanated people. But the fact is, but it's very interesting though, because we live in a world of pretense and kind of like misconstructions. Misconstrued ideas, because when you read the scriptures, even if you look at Nimrod in Babylonia, you know that, which is Iraq, Nimrod is undeniable that he was a black man anyway. Do you get what I mean? So the Bible actually shows you that still, but that whole region is not seen in this modern day time of people of melanated people being there. So for me, that was like one of the most beautiful things for me, just being there and seeing for myself, things that the normal CNN news and all these big media stations don't show. You know, that's why I just think it's really important to do these kind of documentaries, you know, and it's not about how much money it costs or, you know, how it's just about really getting that information out there to share knowledge and, you know, things that people won't see on a daily basis with, you know, the masses, you know, when I say the masses, I mean with all people, because everyone's been brainwashed and alluded to, you know, believing in lies and confusion. So it's about, you know, just waking up people to understand the truth. But yeah, it's been on the land as well, you know, with Sheikh Hayed and, you know, speaking to Ali Jed about his life and his journey and just seeing how strong he is as an individual. It was the next, you know, it was like a transformation of energy, you know, when you hear someone going through such situations, and I've been through my own myself, you know, and but it was just great to, you know, see his energy and his spirit so strong. You know, it's kind of refreshing. You get what I mean? So it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. I learned a lot from that experience. I learned a lot from it. Plus, at the same time, I felt a lot as well. I did a lot of went to the desert with Sheikh, and you know, I take off my shoes and just walk barefoot, you know, in the desert and let the earth talk to me, you know, and it felt beautiful. It really felt beautiful. You know, just helped refreshing and you know, regenerate my body, re-energize my body, you know. So I can't hear you.
All right, sorry about that.
Cool.
Let me ask you this. So doing the filming of that and just really seeing, you know, there were some things that was pointed out that I heard just, and hearing the aspect of there's not even an argument. There's no conversation, no argument between the Ashkenazis or the indigenous people of that area who are melanated about those who were Israelites in antiquity. Like when I hear that, it's almost as though everybody on both sides knows the truth and know what's going on. But over in the Western world, it's an argument back and forth that's not had over in the land of Israel, in the Holy Land.
You know, everyone has done any research. You know, I mean, a lot of rabbis they know, because I mean, remember, if you understand, even the rabbis were sending out in the day before they brought the Ethiopians over, they sent out to Africa, saying they're looking for the lost tribes of Israel. So even the rabbis knew, you know, that the Israelites, who the people of Israel are. But it's just like I said, you got social constructs in it that's been created to let people believe, and that's why I say it's about re-educating all of mankind, re-educate the masses, because a lot of people, you know, the average individual who ain't studied or, you know, they only can go by what they've been heard by mainstream media, you know, and it's about re-educating mankind to understand the truth and, you know, really understanding what's really going on out here, because by re-changing the way people think and feel, like I said, it has a different effect on the universe, and that's what we need to do, you know.
Right. Okay, so another thing too, when it comes down to dealing with in the land, before we kind of move on, I want to talk to you about, because you have those who have lived there like Sheikh Ayed and others who were never a part of the 70 AD diaspora that's constantly been there for centuries. Who enslaved us? I hear people talk all the time, you know, about what it's Edomites.
Ain't nothing to do Edomites, bro. Ain't nothing to do Edomites, bro, because Edomites never mentioned that. I mean, Scripture makes it very clear. Isaiah tells you that, you know, the people who afflicted you will come bowing, seeking knowledge. He tells you that, you know, the son of those afflict you, referring to the Jaffa type people. He mentioned that they will come seeking knowledge, saying our fathers lied to us. So that Edomite concept, I don't even really, you know, I don't really argue or you know, get involved and say Europeans are Edomites. That's never. It doesn't even make much sense to me, to be honest with you.
Wait a minute. So are you telling me, based on your research and based on being going to the land of Israel several times, are you telling me that the Edomites is not the white man?
No, impossible. That doesn't make sense. I mean, come on. Esau married Canaanite woman, and he married woman of Ishmael. Do you get what I mean? So that concept doesn't make much sense. And plus, that word Edom was ruddy like David. It wasn't like he was white. And that whole concept doesn't really make sense, because then that's the case. Let's leave it like this. One of the most prolific books in the Bible, and I'm going to just throw it out here right now. that if people want to say Esau, the Edomites are white, then we're gonna look at people like Job in the Bible, and then Job's a white man, then, right? Just gonna say that. I'm gonna just throw it out straight away because Job was an Edomite. You laughing like, I mean, it's not undeniable. Job lived in the land of Oz. He lived in the land of Oz. The land of Oz is known as located towards Arabia, eastern, towards Jordan, the western side of Jordan, near to Arabia. If you look at all Job's comrades who was with Job, one was a Shunaite that was a descendant from Keturah, sons of Keturah. I remember Abraham sent his children to the east, which towards Arabia, and the other one was an Edomite. The other one was Edomite because the Telemites are Edomites as well.
Right.
So are we saying Job's a white man then?
I don't know about that one because it clearly says in the LXX or in Septuagint, it does tell you that he was an Edomite in the Septuagint and LXX. So
because Job didn't live in the land of Israel. He didn't live in our borders. So the point I'm making is like, to say our people are that the Europeans are Edomites, that doesn't make sense scripturally, because if you look at the book of Isaiah, it tells you that if you go to Genesis, it talks about the people of the Isles of the Seas, the other Gentiles, with the Japhetic people, are the other Gentiles, Genesis 10. Now, if you're going into look at the book of Isaiah, Yeshayahu, he tells you that he refers to the Isles of the Seas and to about the force of the Gentiles from the seas shall be converted to you. I think it's Isaiah 60. I think it's Isaiah 60.
So
yes, Isaiah 60. And it refers to, and then let's look at even deeper. It talks about Tarshish. It talks about Put, Lud, Tarshish. It's also Japhetic people. It says Tarshish shall be the first to let go the children of Israel. Yeah, my sons and daughters. Now, a lot of people say, according to biblical Hebrew, they say Tarshish is Spain. In Spain, yeah? But we know Spain and Portugal played a massive role in the Atlantic slave trade. But again, there's also next theory that Tarshish isn't Spain because Tarshish also is a place of tin. And the Tarshish is also known as a place of young lions. And we all know the symbol of Great Britain is a lion. And Britain's also known for tin trade. It's been known that for donkeys. So they also say, some scholars say that it's actually Britain. But the debate of it has always been, most people say it's Tarshish, some people say it's Britain. But the debate of it is that these places are European people. So it doesn't mention nothing about Edomites taken to slavery, or it doesn't say that in the book of Joel, where it says the Gerasians shall take Judah and Jerusalem, the children of Judah and children of Jerusalem from their borders. These are all Javanite people. So according to scriptures, it's Javanite people. It's not nothing to do with Eden. And we got to bear in mind as well, when you say they're Edomites, with all respect, because remember, we can't take away the reality of truth. Salvation is there for all, even the Gentiles, because the Most I said that the Messiah should be a sign for the people and a light unto Gentiles to the ends of the earth. We were talking about the Isles, and the scripture refers to the Isles are far off. When anyone has watched my documentary, Israelites in the Western World, Servitude and Gentiles, I made it very clear that the Isles are far off is UK, without a doubt. And then who's not known the fame of the Most High. And then it also speaks of in the book of Jubilees. Book of Jubilees, it also refers to Britannia and calls it the Britannia in the far off. So we're talking about the same place, and it's actually use the word name Britannia. So that's in the book of Jubilees. Is it Jasper? But I've got it on the workshop still that I've got. But the point I'm making is it doesn't mention Edomite people, and when we're looking at Edom, we got to look at this. Eden came from Abraham, and Abraham was given a covenant, and all Abraham sees are under his covenant. All he sees are under Abraham's covenant, and Abraham's covenant isn't to be looked at as just a covenant, because we got to understand we got the covenant of land, which is talking about from the river to the rivers. Then you got the covenant of Canaan, which is the Canaan was Canaan. You got covenant of Canaan, covenant of the river to the rivers. You've got also the covenant of flesh, which all Abraham's kids are under the covenant of flesh. Then you got the spiritual covenant, which goes through this covenant of flesh, but the spiritual covenant which was given through Yaakov. Through Ishaq and Yaakov, So there's so much covenant in Abraham's covenant itself. Just like with Dawood, Dawood's amazing, because so much covenant in one covenant. A lot of people don't realize the depth of that. But the point I'm making is, Edomites are under that covenant of flesh. Yeah, and then they say after, and then you've got you've got Isaac as well, also had a covenant with the Most High. That's why we say the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We don't say the God of Abraham. We say God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because within Abraham's covenant there's multiple covenants. There's Isaac's covenant and you got Jacob's covenant. Yeah, even though they're all part of Abraham's covenant, but still they got their own covenant. The Most said to them, "I'm in my covenant with you, and it will continue for you, continue for you." So the fact that Edom actually are in Abraham and Isaac, they're not in Jacob, but Edom and Isaac. So they still have blessings of Abraham and Isaac. So you're actually going to say that they actually belong in that land then? So you say the Edomites. It's a bit confusing. I mean, don't get twisted. The Bible does say that in Genesis that Japhet people, because he says that in the Canaan curse, where it talks about where it talks about Canaan will that it says Genesis, I think Genesis 10 or 9, it says what's name that the sons of Canaan will be cursed, not Ham will be cursed, Canaan because that Ham pretense don't make sense. Canaan will be cursed, and he'll be a servant to Japhet and to Shem. And said Japhet would dwell in the tents of Shem. So we see that manifestation which is actually occurring anyway at this present time. But the point I'm making is it doesn't mention nothing about Edom enslaving us at all. So Edom is said to, like I said, it was about Tarshish letting our people go, not Edom. So I kind of like don't really get it down with all that whole Edomites and European being Edomites. I don't really get down because it's not really scriptural. I know it comes from a scripture in the book of Jubilees. A lot of people use a scripture about Kittim. Kittim ruled over Edom and Kittim. But remember, Edom fought against Kittim all the time. Kittim is Western nation anyway. But Edom fought against them all the time, and they kept revolting against them. And then of course they subdued them over. But doesn't mean that's not what the scripture doesn't. When the scripture look at very clear the prophetic books of Isaiah, Jeremiah, and even Jeremiah speaks of it. I think it's Jeremiah 16. He talks about again about the people afflicted to you. They will talk about the Gentiles again from the other seas, so that they will come. Jeremiah 16, yes, Jeremiah 16. He says they will come. They will come. Let me say the exact word. I'll give you the exact word. I've actually can find it right now in 2 seconds. But it's like everyone's trying to refer to external sources, things outside the scriptures. But when you look in the scripture itself, it actually doesn't tell you that. The scripture makes it very clear that the European people are actually Japhetic.
I want to go to a video. I want to play a video really quick. That's going to lead us into the next segment of conversation. Let's go into this.
Okay, so if you have a look here, brothers, it's written in Arabic, the house of the martyr and the name. By the way, he was the first martyr in the first Intifada of 1987. What's really interesting about him, Palestinian Christian, a young Palestinian Christian of 17 years old, very active he was. He was assassinated by security agents outside the walls of the old city. They claimed that he was stoning a bus of settlers. Now, a little bit downstairs, we are going to see the house of the other martyr that we have seen the picture at the shop of the father. This one is Christian, that one is Muslim. So this gives an idea that our issue is purely political, not religious. Hala, doctor, hala, habibi. Habibi Muhammad.
This is unknown to the Western world. Christians participating in the struggle for liberation. I wonder why.
So, how is this unknown to the Western world that this is a political thing going on in Israel and not a religious? Because most people in the Western world think that everything that's happening in Israel is based upon scripture and 1948 and all this type of stuff. But to those who live there and have lived there and have been seeing this from the start of it, from beyond 1948 or predating 1948, they see things more so from a political fact, but we get things filtered over here as though it's biblical, and so everybody's cool with it.
No, a lot of it's political. I mean, Even look at the Israeli army. You got Bedouins in the Israeli army. You got Arabs in the Israeli army.
Wow.
It's not you got Arabs in the Israeli army. You've got and some of them got high positions. You got that he did a part of that documentary where he talks about George Habash. They've heard of George Habash. He's a political leader, Christian, and he used to fight for the Palestinian liberation. He wasn't Muslim, he was a Christian. There's many Christians fight for Palestinian liberation. You've got Israelis, you've got Israelis that fight against Israeli soldiers. They can't go certain areas, Israeli soldiers can't even go in. Their own Israelis will throw stones at them. You can find that video on YouTube. It's not rocket science. I mean, it's all political.
So let me ask you this real quick, Stephen, before I forget this point, something that you said about Christians. Is there a difference between the Christians that are in Northeast Africa versus the Christians in the Western world, in the Americas? Is there a difference when it comes down to theological understanding?
I don't know, to be honest, because I don't really, I know a few, but I don't really go too deep into their theology because I'm not to the Christian. Again, the Christians, they call them Nisri anyway, Nisri. Well, I don't know if that, for me, that word's more close to Nazarites than anything else. The word Nisri is more closer to Nazarites. But I don't really get too close into the Christian doctrine. It's not something I really follow because the concept as well of the Trinity and that is not really me.
So in the land though, in the land there, have you encountered any Christians there? Yeah.
I speak to a few. Very lovely. Some of them are very lovely, some are warm. But I don't get, because Christians, Muslims, they long them get along, especially in Jerusalem. They get in Jerusalem and in surrounding places, in Palestinian territories. A lot of the Christians and the Muslims get along very good, really good.
Okay, are any of those are any of those Jewish Christians, Arab Christians, or anything?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let's go to the next video real quick. Here, I want to show another video here. Let's see here.
What we was about to encounter was unexpected, not to mention extremely uncomfortable.
You see, one of the words they just mentioned, Gushi, where they began calling us niggers, Sambo. Niggers, Sambo.
Was that the kids?
Yeah, the kids. They began saying Kushi, meaning niggers, Sambo.
So these kids are taught racism from their young then?
Yeah. They grow them up to racism, discrimination. So imagine yourself to be black and Palestinian at the same time.
They say, yeah, Kushi, nigga. Okay.
Okay, so where were you guys at during that time when
we was in the Jewish, we was going to the Jewish quarters.
In the Jewish quarters, and what age range would you say those kids were?
Maybe 7, 6, something. Maybe teens between 5 and 8, 5 and 7, something like that. Young kids.
As I'm looking at the video, I see that there are adults, Jewish adults in the background, while the kids are there. And as you guys come in, they're saying Yaya Kushi. What does Yaya Kushi mean?
Yeah, Kushi, they say Kushi is just a terminology. They call it a derogatory terminology for black people.
You mean the Nigger?
Yeah.
So they're chanting Kushi while there are adult Jewish men there. The men hear them, they aren't saying anything, but they're being taught from children that anyone that's of melanin complexion or black, they're being taught at 6 years old, Kushi. Nigeer?
Yeah, it boils down to lack of insight to life, innit? I mean, again, if we back to how it's important how we think and how we carry ourselves in the universe, going to reflect on the person we be in it, and it's reflecting how the universe will receive us as well, you know, the individual. For me, it's sad because the lack of respect for humanity is lost in regards to the way they've been up, you know, the way they grew up, the way they've been taught. Do you get what I mean? And that refers to just the poor level of insecurity in individuals, because for anyone to want to teach a child racism or teach a child to hate somebody, you have to have a lack of love for self first. Do you get what I mean? On a deeper level, on a more traumatic level, if I'm gonna feel that I have to belittle you, like if me and you sit there talking now, if I feel that I have to belittle you, I say Williams this, Williams that, just to make myself feel good, then it clearly shows that I have a real lack of love for self. Do you get me? Remember, the two greatest commandments is love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, the mind and soul. And the second commandment is love thy neighbor like thy love thyself. So loving yourself is so important. A lot of people realize how important it is to love thyself, innit? Because you can't, when you say love your neighbor like you love yourself, the key to real true love, you know, for anyone is to love yourself, innit? And if you're going to teach young people that form of insight to life, you know, not to love yourself enough that you can respect somebody else. Remember, you have to look back before this, you know, nation tribes live together, you know, in the land in harmony, but everyone doing their own thing and being who they were. And that's the beauty of this universe, isn't it? Even go to Africa today, you see enough nations and people living in harmony, and that's how cool with themselves, isn't it? They might not intermarry, but they're happy within who they are as a people and a being. You feel me? So then it's a lack of self-love. These youths are doing that, and that kind of leads back to even the that leads back to what I was saying before about Jeremiah. Jeremiah 16:2. I read it out. You know, Jeremiah 16 and 19. It says, "O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth." Talk about the hours of the ends of the earth, and shall say, "Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things therein there is no profit." You feel me? Because a lot of people have been misled to, you know what I'm saying, to believe in a different aspect of life that, you know, by making somebody else feel small, or, you know, it's going to make themselves real big. But really and truly, on a deeper spiritual level, on a deeper level, the unseen level, because the unseen is more powerful than the seen, on the unseen level, they're lacking love for self, innit? So a lot of these people are very empty inside. You get what I mean?
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, because if they're being taught that from 6 years old, you know, there are many of them who have the same mindset as an adult. So of course, if they have this mindset as an adult, they aren't going to try to go out and evangelize or proselytize or anything. You can't expect them to come into Black community, you know, trying to present the gospel or trying to present anything about the Bible, because they already have a mindset, you know, that we are entitled to all of these perks and all of these things. So we don't expect that. But I want to ask you this question, because they have the mindset, which would be a racist mindset or a pro-Israeli or pro-European mindset, if I can use that word with them.
You see, before you continue what you're going to say, but even not to cut you, but the fact that the scripture says that if they even thought they were the true Israelites, the scripture says that the Israelites are not to suppress a stranger. For you, one stranger in Egypt. So for the thought pattern that you can actually, you know, away with that scripture, which is a very important verse in the Torah, and then you could just allow children or see young kids growing up in the wrong way that's actually not following the scriptures. It shows again back to what I'm saying. There's a lack of self-love. There's a lot of emptiness. You get what I'm saying? But the Most High poundeth their hearts. You get what I'm saying? So He knows all things. But yeah, you were saying?
Right. So can an Israelite be pro-Black in the aspect of the way that the Israelis are pro-Israeli?
Well, are they pro-Israeli? That's confusion. That's confusion. That's not pro. That's confusion. Israelite, me personally, I'll speak for myself. I can't be. I won't call myself pro-Black. I won't call myself a pro-Black Israelite. I don't think Israelites can be pro-Black.
So you believe that we should take the Bible And we should, the same way we present it to another Israelite, or who we perceive or believe to be an Israelite, we should take that same energy and push it just as hard as to all nations.
Bro, according to scriptures, it's like this. If you're strong in yourself, you know who you are, like I said, love thyself, you love yourself, you know who you are. You have no worry about nobody else because they can't take from you what's you, How can you take what's me from me what's me?
Right.
What's mine is mine, Is nobody can't take that's inside me. That's buried within my soul, in my spirit. That runs through my DNA. That's my ancestors in my blood. You can't take that from me. You can't take what's blessings upon my spirit. You can't, what blessings have been poured upon me and spirit the most high upon me, you can't take it from me. Who's man to take anything from me? Impossible. Right. So for me personally, I'd have to be pro-black in the sense of, well, I'm gonna hate a European like how they do to black people. That don't make no sense to me. That's not even logical. That don't make no sense. That's dumb sense.
Is that biblical?
That's biblical, of course it is. Because the Bible is part of the Bible tell me to hate. The Bible didn't tell me Okay, again, let's go like again, the scriptures. According to scriptures, there is that supposed to be. Remember, it wasn't we weren't blessed because we were righteous, because of our righteous our fathers. When we saved our Egypt, most of stiff-necked people. It wasn't because of us, it was because of our fathers. And according to Abraham, Abraham's supposed to be the father. Abraham's supposed to be the father of many nations, not all nations, many nations, and all nations will be blessed through Abraham.
Right.
All nations can't bless him if I'm gonna turn around and start shooting down every nation. That don't make no sense, innit? That's not my job. My job is to educate mankind.
Let me ask you, the concept of race as we know it today, is that a biblical concept?
It's not a biblical thing, because the most I didn't create races, you created nation and tribes. That racial construct, that racial identity is a construct. I mean, you show me, people are not white and black like that. You have tones, different tones of black people. If you read, though the Bible calls us shakur, but when you go into like the linguistics of, especially even like Asian culture, like even Arabic, you have different words like Adam for Adam, like Adam in the Bible. Adam means Adam in the Bible. Adam from the word Adamah, which Adamah is hummus, dark. Adam also it had Arabic from the word Adamah, which also means Amma made from Hama Imusnun, which is to fashion hard, like hot mud, black mud. Adam made from black mud. Yeah, so 1526. Then you have different terminologies like Akda, Shadida Udma, for different complexions of black people. Do you get what I'm saying? So most I never create us by according to our color, in the sense to say that's you by this. He created us in regards to our nation and tribes. Mm-hmm. And then in the beginning of time, that was how things was constructed by nation tribes. And the end of time, in the book of Isaiah, Revelation, which is what you're referring to, you're referring to nation and tribes. And even the Quran itself says as well that the Most High created man into nation and tribes, that we get to know each other. So it wasn't about race in the sense of we have in modern day times. When you go for a job, they put down, you have to write, what are you, black, white, it's like, it was about your nationhood and tribehood. Everyone, you look at it, the reality is a lot of people in the West Hemisphere, especially West Hemisphere, don't have an identity. And not just black people, we don't have identity through racism. A lot of them don't have identity because of their forefathers. See, back to the scriptures. The scripture says that Jeremiah said that they will look at themselves and say, our fathers lied to us. When you look at that Jeremiah verse, as I'm saying, the Bible is a living book. It's not a dead book, it's a living book. A lot of the Europeans in themselves don't have a history of who they are. A lot of white people in America, UK, and them places don't know who they are. They will say, oh, I'm American, I'm British. No, you're not. What's your tribe? We can say personally, we don't know our tribes because what happened to us. They can't say that, They just don't know. So your own forefathers have messed you over too, just to do his wicked plan. You've also been subject to their wickedness, to what your forefathers have done. You see where the scriptures make it different, where the Most High said he's not going to deal with that. He's coming to look at people and judge people who people are, because everybody's being played around this game. As Bob Marley was saying, I love quoting him, though people say he's not an Israelite because his mother was a black woman, his father was white. That's some dumb knowledge, but I won't go into that right now. Bob Marley was amazing. Bob Marley, that man told you that, spiritual wickedness are in low places. And that's what's going on right now. A lot of people are not realizing that, we're too physical minded and we're not looking at the understanding of those laws. Most at the beginning, when he created man, he said, man is but flesh in it. Man don't understand that we can't dwell on this physical mind frame. The law was never created just for physical joy. There's a spiritual aspect to it. Do you get what I'm saying? There's that higher aspect to the law. We don't look at the law and just say, oh, thou shalt not steal. It's like I don't steal and that's it. There's a thing, like I said, it connects back to what I was saying about when we react certain ways if it has an impact on the universe. When you don't, the Lord said, don't steal, you don't steal. Like Jesus said that, let's use Jesus' concept. He says, you hear past time said, don't commit adultery. If you commit now, he said, not even if you commit adultery, if you even think about it. That concept isn't just it's a new concept. He said he didn't come to destroy the law, but come to fulfill it. There's not a new concept. He just come to give us understanding. Remember the Pharisees that were very physical, their thought pattern and their interactions, where they forgot the spirituality of the Most High and they look at the Most High and trying to deal with him and deal with this whole concept of the law from a very mortal way of thinking. When he's trying to show him, say, yo, it's not that way. Hence why you look how called the Messiah, the son of David. How can he when David called him Lord and Spirit? It don't make sense because the same ancient spirit returning. We have to look at the spiritual aspect of the law. Do you get what I'm saying? So if me not thieving or not stealing, I got to understand that me not taking something, not only do I feel good because I didn't say enough, take nothing, inside of me as well is that there's an emotion going on. There's a feel good factor that vibrates in the universe. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I say, people have a kind of modern say, like say, you know, you do good, the good come back to you. But it's really just, you throw out good in the universe, then you're bound to, you know, pulling back in good energy, said way. You feel me? And we have to look at the deeper aspect, even beyond that, and go to the spiritual part, the spiritual vibration, the pulsation, because you know the scripture says the spirit of God in the beginning, hovering in the chaos. We're talking about there's an energy, and we have to understand how our role in this time, in this situation of time, how we connected with this energy in this time. You feel me?
That's right.
A lot of us are kind of focusing on the law in a physical way, and you know all this hatred for people. I ain't got no time for it. I'm too busy loving me. Sorry, call me bossy, call me braggadocio, or whatever you want to call me. I'm too busy loving me to hate anybody. You feel me? I'm just doing my thing and let the Most High continue to bless me on my path. And you get what I'm saying? Those who are wise enough to understand that right now it's about mastering yourself. Because the Most High have give us a new heart, a new mind. We have to focus on cleansing ourselves and re-educating ourselves and moving on. A lot of us, like I said, we got generational trauma. And there's a lot of generational trauma you find even through when you look at slavery. Like Americans had their slavery, Caribbean had their slavery, we went through a different type of slavery. But there's a lot of generational traumas and we have to get rid of that. Again, there's religious traumas as well from the teachings of scriptures that we had. So we have to really delve deep and, you know, like you say, be born again. But you can't physically go back in the womb, don't you? You don't physically go back in the womb, but spiritually. You get what I'm saying? We have to, it's like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said one time, I only got one glass of wine, but Bruce said one time to a martial arts guy, he says to him, if I give you, he goes to the man, if you have 2 cups and you got 1 cup of juice and I have a pure cup full of water, yeah? Pure, good, godly water. If you have juice and I pour my cup of bit of my water on your cup of juice, it's only going to dilute, it's only stay diluted juice, right? But if you want a good knowledge, you have to dash with that and show the water in it. So it's about re-cleansing it. So it's about born again, it's about throwing out the old and allowing yourself to, you get what I'm saying? So that's why the meditation is important still, when we meditate on the Lord day and night. So them things are really important in it. So me, I like to take a lot of time into reflecting on myself and understanding. But back to what we're saying, no, we can't be pro-black. It don't make sense. In the sense of way they act, it don't make sense to me. I'm pro-Israelite. I love myself. I love my Israelite roots. I love my Israelite understanding. I love my history. But it doesn't make me want to hate a next man's culture or next man's belief or next man's life. Because if you live in a certain way and walk in a certain manner, people naturally going to gravitate to you or like or pull towards you. So you don't need to go out and that's what children are supposed to do from the beginning. We were supposed to show our nations. We're supposed to be a nation of kings, a nation of priests, I say. But we never uphold certain things and lost certain things and forgot certain things. That's why, you know, as much as even Most High showed us a great side. And a lot of us don't seem to realize that we need to really turn ourselves back onto the Most High, like with a whole new mind frame. And like I said, we just need to free ourselves and re-educate ourselves and don't let the things of, the past reshape who you are. Because, come out the curses. We dwell on the curses too much. You get what I'm saying?
Now let's, before we go into the final video, I want to stay right there because that's something that me and you talked about. It's something that I even teach about our congregation. Our congregation have an understanding of it. Deuteronomy 28. I'm not going to expound upon it, but I want you to do that.
Deuteronomy 28. I mean, like you see what people don't realize is, and I'm gonna invent something about the sisters. Deuteronomy 28 to me, is the Most High give us. People say the Most High give free will in it, like different from the angels, isn't it? The angels commanded, boom, do that. But mankind is different. We have that kind of free will, But in that same concept of free will, the Most High gives us options. do this, do that. Always find the scriptures. There's a pattern there, and people don't. I'm gonna give people a little understand that there's a pattern in the scriptures. Sometimes the Most High says that. In fact, you find a scripture where it says all the children of Israel will be saved. Then the next scripture says a remnant will be saved, and then people say that's contradiction. No, it's not. It's a pattern.
Hold on, Stephen. Hold on. Listen, you are messing with some people's theology and mindset right now. Okay, you need to stop this. Okay, you sitting up here, you cutting people nicely, talking about it'll say all Israel gonna be saved. Then the next second say, oh, a remnant is gonna be saved. See, what you're doing right now, you can't do me. Okay, that's what. All right, you don't come on my platform trying to do me and sending ripples through the community. Okay, that's what I do. Now go ahead and proceed, brother.
Because because we have to understand, because like I said, everything in the scripture has got to be interpreted through Torah. As I said, we have to understand the spiritual aspect of the Torah. The Torah is a very powerful book. Don't look on it physical. There's a spiritual aspect of the Torah that needs to be understood. That's our foundation. That grips us and keeps us strong. And when you look at the scriptures, you'll find things you might think that contradicts, but it's not contradiction. The Most High gives us free will. We've been given free will from day dot. I remember Adam was given dominion over everything. Moses said for Adam from the beginning of the garden, eat everything of the garden, but don't eat of that. I warned you. Don't eat of it. You eat of it, your business. Don't eat it, but eat everything you want. You got the free will in it. Whereas the angels now will be like, do that, and the angels just do it. There's no free will. That's just your. So that's why even they call Iblis, the devil, didn't want to bow to man. He's like, you're less than me, but yet you have this ability that the Most has given you that He hasn't given us. So he tried to be rebellious. But anyway, forget about him. I just want to kind of make people understand that when you see certain things in scriptures, it's giving you to understand that. So when the scriptures makes it there for you that to know that some things can be done, yeah, and but it's your choices. So Deuteronomy 28 is one of them situations where you have the blessings and the curses. Again, the free will. Do my thing, everything good enough. Don't do my thing and you just get mess. You see what I'm saying? And the problem is a lot of us now, we're still stuck in that mindset. Again, that's a trauma mindset. And I want to put that terminology, it's a trauma mindset. And I've got a book I'm writing called Oneness. It's coming out soon, God willing. And I'll use the word inshallah soon. It's I like to dwell between Arabic words as well as Hebrew words. It's gonna I address a lot of trauma that through using scriptures, because scripture is there to address the trauma. That's scriptures are there definitely to address the situation we're going through, not just black people, but the world, mankind itself on a whole. And for me, it's like when you look at Deuteronomy 28, it tells you for Israelites, it says if we do this, we'll get all these blessings. If we do this, we'll get these curses. But a lot of us in this time right now, we still seem to be dwelling on the curses and making films all day on the curses and talking about the curses all day and curses. I'm thinking, but don't we understand that it's the individual? We don't turn to the blessings in congregation. We turn to blessings as individuals. Like you're individual. Every man should judge for his own soul according to scriptures. A father should judge for his son's sins, and the son can judge for father's sins. Like you judge for your own sins, sister neither for a mother, mother for neither for a daughter. Like, why are we waiting on somebody else? Turn your own mindset around. Like, no longer live in the curses. You literally, it's like that. Turn from the curses, focus on the blessings. Focus on what you can do right and how the change of prosperity come in your life. Focus on the things you can do right, how the Spirit can lead you and guide you to do certain things. Don't wait on other people, and naturally you will gravitate. Like I will gravitate with you, and we gravitate in our spirits are connected on certain different levels. If we don't think certain ways, you don't have to wait on somebody. Your spirit will lead you to other people naturally. But we sitting down expecting, this mass change or whatever. That's not how it goes. Like everyone needs to really wake up from this, mindset of we this traumatic mindset and dwelling in the curses, and we need to focus on the blessings, because that's where everything good's gonna come for us as the children of Israel. We have to focus on that. And like Scripture says, again, the Gentiles will come seeking wisdom, seeking knowledge, because they're not going to sit down and wait in the masses to come. They will come as they keep accumulating. That's why Scripture says the force of the Gentiles will come. That the conversion will be so much they'll be like, whoa, how come some people want to come see the truth? It's about changing. You've got the choice. Even the Gentiles have the choice. The scripture where Moses says he destroyed the Gentiles. The scripture where Moses says, I'll save them, massive numbers. So they've got a choice to keep doing what they're doing or repent and give themselves to the Most High, acknowledge the children of Israel. It's a choice. Man is given choices. And that's the scripture is making it very clear. There's a choice made for mankind, and it's up to us to make those choices. So do we either, stick to one way of life, or do we change? And like they say, they have a very common saying, which when I put it in layman's terms, to take it even from spirituality, bring it in layman's terms, they say that doing the same thing all the time is just madness, isn't it? Do you get what I'm saying? So even in a man's mortal daily life, they know that doing the same thing, it just gets zero what's the name, benefits. So changing is a must, isn't it? So I feel brothers and sisters need to really look at the scriptures properly from a more open-minded view and realize that, you know, it's not a contradiction there in the law. But really, when you look at Deuteronomy 28 especially, come out of those, stop reading the curses all the time and saying we fit. We already know that. Read the blessings part of it. Focus on the blessings part of it and stick to that part and know, yo, you know what? This is what I'm going to do to clear up myself. This is what I'm going to fix up myself. And watch your life really change around. I guarantee you. Because believe me, all the thing I'm doing, I know I'm a big money dude or nothing. But the most I just putting me in the right place, bringing the right little things my way. When I feel like no money's here, the most I opens ways to me. As he always does in scriptures, he always shows that when a man's favored the most, he opens ways for them. So I just feel like we have to just, everyone has the ability to make a change. As I said, many are called, few are chosen. Because everyone has the ability to do it. But it's your choices. Life's about choices. Yeah. What are you going to choose? You know, and forget about the sorry thing. Like I said, the traumatic mindset where we're just going to always, me, man, it's because of this. And I'm like, we know what's happened to us. What are we going to do to get out of it? And carrying a burden of hatred or anger on your shoulder ain't going to change the situation for you. That ain't going to do nothing for you, but more keep you, because the most likely you can't do it in an unclean vessel. So if you're constantly always on a downer, like, are you actually going to be really allow yourself to be filled with love and joy? Because look at King David. As much as King David was a haunted child as a youth growing up, like violence, he was a very loving child as well. That's why most had chosen. That desire of love in him was great. And this is important, that we have to have a very strong desire of love in ourselves, in it. And for self, like I said, the two greatest commandments. Love the Most High with all thy heart, mind, and soul. I love the neighbor like that, love thyself. I remember, if you look at Book of Jubilees, Abraham told all his sons that to love one another and to love and to become a righteous in the earth. So Abraham told not just Isaac, he told Isaac, Ishmael. With the Book of Jubilees, he told Isaac, Ishmael, and the sons of Keturah and their sons to not only love themselves, love their neighbors, but to be a righteous in all the earth. So this has been ordained from day dot. It's been ordained from day dot, because we know so the Most High said in the days of Noah, he won't destroy the earth again. Do you get what I mean? And he chose Abraham. So it's important that we now, as a people, really come to understand that conclusion, that we need to, you know, get away from all the curse, the thoughts of the curse. We already know who we are. Just focus on the blessings, isn't it?
All right. So what I want to do, I want to get into the final video, and we're going to talk about this. It's very important. I'm going to let it play, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this, because this is a very important video, some very important information that Brother Stephen Graham has put and has put out. So here we go.
Here I stand in the Mila, the Jewish quarters of the Medina of Esseria, formerly known as Magador. In the 18th century, before and even to a time period after, this portion of the fortified city was home to a thriving Israelite community. Today, as you see, it's only just a thing of the past. Although people live here, all of whom are Muslim, the only remembrance, a reminder, are the derelict buildings and heaps of rubble. Who were these Jews of the Medina in Magador, who according to history were great tradesmen and were favored and respected by some of the greatest sultans of the past, including Muhammad bin Abdullah, the grandson of the famous Black Sultan, Musa Ismail ibn Sharif. The answer to the identity of the Jews who once lived here during the period of the great sultans isn't found thousands of miles away in what is known as the modern state of Israel, where mass migration from Morocco has taken place, but right here in the Medina walls. Here lies the true identity of the Israelite community that once lived here, in the ancient synagogue that has been restructured and rebuilt. Here lies the truth that many seek after.
Inside this restored synagogue, there are pictures everywhere. Historical evidence is right before my eyes. This extraordinary building has much to be desired.
Here inside the synagogue, known as the Synagogue of Hamin Binto, you find some very interesting pictures of the Jews of Magadur.
Upon closer examination of the 4 pictures, it is clear to see that the Moroccan Jews of the past were highly melanated beings. Here we see black Jews walking through the Medina. Below we see these same dark-skinned Israelites at the Bab el-Masa in Magadur, which was built in 1769 during the reign of Mohammed bin Abdullah as part of the reconstruction of the fortification of the city. As you can see, there is an engraved inscription above the arch as to when and who constructed this forty gate. In this recent picture of the same door, a close and more detailed inscription can be seen. This picture isn't quite as clear. However, the 4th picture clearly depicts these ancient Israelites who lived in the Medina as melanated people. Wanting to understand more about the pictures, I asked the Guardian, who was unwilling to go on camera, to inform me of what these pictures represent. These were his words.
Is Muslim et Jewish together. Muslim Jewish together. That's avant le deuxième guerre.
I was not at all surprised by the Guardian's statement. From a Quranic point of view, the term Muslim, meaning one who submits, predates Muhammad. It was time to explore the rooms. In the corner, there was another picture of these black Jews at the Bab el-Masa, and an even more fascinating one on the wall in this dark room. I noticed these old pictures were surrounded by modern photos and portraits of individuals whose appearance were more European than that of the melanated people in the older pictures. Is there a connection, or has someone placed them there with an agenda? I was told that this is Hamin Pinto, the chief rabbi of the Israelites of Magadur in the 18th century. This time period coincides with the days of Mohammed bin Abdullah, the Black Sultan of Morocco, and the Black Jews of the Mellah, who I prefer to call Israelites. Knowing these historical facts and looking at the portrait of Rabbi Hamin Pinto, is it possible to believe that he was born a Jew from the same stock as the dark-skinned Israelites in these pictures? I have no doubt he existed. Yet looking at the picture portrayed of Hamin Pinto on the wall and knowing the Jews of Magadur were black in the 18th century, one has to consider, do we have here another attempt to create conspiracy, another historical cover-up? Is this picture a true representation of Rabbi Hamin Pinto? And if it is a true portrayal of him, was he then a missionary who ministered unto the people who we see in these pictures that resemble our brothers in the motherland regarding their features and appearance? Personally, the portrait of Rabbi Hamin Pinto looks more European Jewish than the Moroccan Sephardic Jew found in the modern state of Israel, and nothing at all like the Jews of Magadur in these pictures found in the synagogue.
So,
yeah,
we are going to jump back into this. Brother Stephen Graham, world traveler, man, talk to us. It's some new information.
Man, that documentary for me was where you talk about the documentary.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting documentary for me, making a documentary, because I always knew that the Israelites that went into the people that went to Spain, that they called the Moors, were Israelites. I always knew that, but it was just like find the evidence to prove that. You know, when knowing that, if you know much about Muhammad ibn Sharif, he sent the Israelites into Spain to do some work. He sent them into Spain to do some work. And in fact, he had a very strong tie with them, a very strong tie with them. And that's why I said that when the man said that the Israelites and the Muslims were together, I mean, it wasn't nothing new, because the concept of Islam today and the concept of Islam before is the two different concepts of Islam. And I say that in a sense like the concept of Christianity before and the concept of Christianity today is different from the concept. Although Ethiopian concept of Christianity today, you see, they got these pictures of white Jesus on the wall in Ethiopia. Hence why I said we got to go to Ethiopia in the documentary. Yeah. I've got connections with Ethiopia, and man, bro, like we know that Ethiopia was doing their version of Christianity, which wasn't Christianity what we have today, the Trinitarian perspective of Christianity, or the Holy Mother concept of Christianity. It was monophemist. They were Isiabe, and that's it. Isiabe was their believer, and which is the Ethiopian word for God, the God of Israel. And it's the same thing with there's a big difference between the concept of Christianity today and past tense, and the same with what they call Islam today. Because I mean, when you look at the word Muslim, it actually predates the whole concept of Muhammad, in the sense that when you look at the scriptures, it talks about the trees and the mountains that they were Muslim. So we're talking about if they were Muslim, then what does the concept of Muslim really mean? Because the word Arabic word for Muslim only means submit. That's all it means, to submit. That's it, period. Just to submit. So when you look at anyone like King David, that the Most High calls him, he was in the Quran, he's one of God's favorites in the Quran. Well, of course, David was one of God's favorites in the scriptures. It makes it very clear. God's covenant with David is amazing. And it shows you that, they were Muslims, and this is predating Prophet Muhammad. They were all Muslims, referred to as Muslims, predating Muhammad. So the concept of Muslim from a scriptural perspective and from a religious perspective is two different things. Do you get what I mean? And but I knew that, but just to hear the avant-garde say it to me, that was the beautiful thing, because he also knew that the concept of what people were saying didn't actually match the concept of what was actually in the imagery. Do you get what I'm saying? We said that they were all together. And there's a lot of misconstrued, about history. Again, I call it lazy scholarship in our community, because people don't really read for themselves. They just want to go by what the common people say. So if everyone says, everyone says Esau's, what Edomites, you're the one talking slavery, but the scripture says differently. That talks about the Japhetic people and Tarshish, these places. So Kitim, but it's like when you study for yourself, you realize, and it's all about yourself and on your foolies and on misunderstandings. When you study for yourself, you realize yourself that half the things that we've been taught isn't actually so. Like I got a little footage where it talks about, even the Holy Quran says that the most holy place on earth is Jerusalem, the Holy Land. Do you get what I mean? And a lot of people think it's, they will say, according to the Quran, it's Arabia, but you can't find Arabia. I mean, you'll never find that Arabia that the Quran says actually it's Arabia. The Quran actually says it's the Holy Land. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I heard the avant-garde say that, it was really beautiful for me. And it was, again, finding the evidence that seeing if you, like when you say, we study the history of Muslim Ibn Sharif, you understand what contribution, because the Abbasid dynasty today, we see that the white king of Morocco, the Abbasid dynasty, Ibn Muslim Sharif was actually part of the Abbasid dynasty.
Right.
The Abbasid dynasty you see today in Morocco isn't actually the king from before. As a lot of people try to fight against the Abbasid dynasty and say, that there was no blacks there, but a lot of people know studies that. That's why I said in the documentary I talk about, did the original Israelites leave from here, which they did. A lot of them went into the Sinai, the Sahara Desert. And you find a lot of them in Sahara Desert today. They'll tell you that the history is Israelites.
And that's more so reason why you see sub-Saharan African based on, the DNA haplogroup and the admixture. Because even in that, when we both looked at our DNA,
the Jews, Moroccan Jews,
we found we had the Moroccan Jews in our DNA. Not only the Limba, the Moroccan Jews, we also had, the Yemen Jews, the
Yemen Jews too.
So that's interesting. I think you kind of talked about it. I don't know if you're going to do any traveling and documentary.
Yeah, I want to go Yemen still, because I want to do a documentary on Ethiopia's rule over Yemen and understand the connection between, remember Abraham sent his children to the east, the sons of Keturah, and you were looking at Midian, which is where Yithro, Abraham's father-in-law, he was a Midianite. Of course, he was sent from Abraham. And you had you got the Sheba, Queen of Sheba, the Sheba tribe, Queen of Sheba. I don't know the Badakis in the Arabic, and in the Ethiopian they call them Makeda. You know, we call her Sheba, but they call her Makeda, and the Arabs call her Belkis. But a lot of people don't realize why they talk about the Queen of the South. A lot of people realize like the interaction between the three different names, but who they're referring to the same person. Because not only were the tribe in Arabia, there was also in Ethiopia. Because remember, Ethiopia ruled Arabia, though a lot of people have it the other way around and say Arabia ruled Ethiopia, but it doesn't make sense because you study the story of the story from external sources, so not in the Quran, but external sources based on when the first Hajj, when Prophet Muhammad told the people to go to run into Ethiopia, when they had to run away from Arabia, it says that the king of Arabia, the king of Ethiopia, they call King Nageshi, but Nageshi is a title. His real name is Adar. King Adar, he turned around and said to them, when the Qurayshi came to take back Jafar Abi Talib, which is a cousin of Prophet Muhammad, and Jafar Abi Talib, his brother Ali is known to be black, pot belly, and a broad nose. So we know what color Muhammad was, but that's another story. But what's the name? It says that Jafar Abi Talib went before the king and spoke of what his aspect of Jesus, and the king said, "Well, to the Qurayshi, no, you can't take these guys back. They're not wrong, and they're not bad people technically." So for the fact that if a king can tell a next tribe, warrior tribe, that you can't take people out of my land, then it clearly shows that the king's much stronger than the people, right?
Right.
So Ethiopia ruled over Arabia, but many people try to have it the other way around. But it's the fact is Ethiopia ruled over Arabia with an iron hand. I remember the king was an Israelite king anyway. He was a king from the Solomon Sheba lineage. Then you had the next lineage in Ethiopia, which I want to do a lot of research on and study, which I know I've got the research, but I want to actually go and physically film them. Is the King Lalibella's tribe, Lalibela Zagwe, because Zagwe they trace themselves back to Moses the poor, and Lalibella's one that built the 11 churches down. And bear in mind, he built 11 churches, not 12. But we understand why, because the priests don't have a place in Israel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to bring these things into the forefront of people's minds. I want to go there and I want to, expose certain things. So God willing, we're going to talk about that anyway. We'll discuss that. We're going to talk about that.
So when you walk into because this is a reconstructed synagogue, basically.
Yeah.
Look at everything is kind of tore down around it.
You know what? That synagogue today, those pictures, a good friend of mine, a lot of them pictures ain't there now, right now. So you go there.
Wait. So you telling me after you left
yeah.
documentary out, all of a sudden the pictures are no longer there.
Some of the pictures are gone. So technically, anybody goes there, you go Esseria, look for that synagogue, go in there, take pictures. See, let me know what pictures are there. Because my boy said to me, a lot of the pictures are gone. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and there's comments on the thing, some crazy comments. Read the comments. Some people saying that, I'm making this up. I put them there. And I'm thinking, I went into Morocco with a bag of pictures and put them there.
So you got on a plane and flew from the UK to Morocco.
You find some crazy comments.
Some pictures to take for a document. Come on, man.
Crazy comments. But, I won't fight against people. Again, it's about emotions. Because, again, a lot of people, for me, wasting energy to fight and cuss at people on the internet, it's not going to benefit nothing. It comes to no joy. So, but if people really do their own research, and some people say, just do your own research into what I was saying, and why are the pictures there? Because if it's a synagogue that's all about European-looking Jews, because remember, the Jews on that pit wall don't even look like the Jews don't look like the Sephardic Jews anyway, who are from Morocco in Israel today, because they're more brown skin anyway. Those Jews are straight European-looking in them pictures. European build everything. They don't look nothing like Sephardic Jews in Ethiopia, the ones that came out of Morocco. So the fact is, we have to really know that there's been some infiltrating going on, and you get what I mean? But go keep it real. But a lot of people want to run away from even the acknowledging that the Africanness of themselves, because a lot of people have been brainwashed to again this whole race misconstruction that's happened to make people feel like when you're black it's the worst or you're bad and all these kind of things. And so some people don't want to associate themselves with it. Do you get what I'm saying? But it was never about just being black. It's about your identity. And, Israelites as a people, and this is why they created all that race to say we can focus on black and being, we're black and it's a black man's land. If you go to Africa, you find different nations right now. You go to Nigeria, there's different nations don't mingle. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's just them. It's not, and they're all black. Do you get what I mean? So for me, but that documentary though, back to that documentary, it was really important to make because I wanted to show people that, we were there in Morocco. We were there. Do you get what I mean? Our presence was there, no doubt. And I just think it's important that we continue these kind of works, showing people, educating our people, that we are here, we're there. Do you get what I'm saying? And history, they can't hide the history of who we are, for too long. you get what I'm saying? As long as you're seeking truth from your heart, you'll find truth. Do you know?
Absolutely. Hey, Stephen Graham, man, I appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate it, man. Everything that we have going on. What I'm going to do is, man, I'm going to kind of open it up a little bit. We have maybe 12 minutes, and I'm going to open it up to see if anybody have any questions for Stephen Graham. I know we have a bit of delay on Facebook, probably about maybe 20-second delay. If you have any questions for Stephen Graham, go ahead and you can ask him. I'll take a couple, maybe about 5, and then go from there, and then we'll go ahead and get off. But if you have any questions, if you want to help the brother in his travel, he does everything out of his pocket. If you want to help him, he's going to give his information out towards the end of how you can donate or anything like that. He has a website and things like that. So every dime is helpful for you. See what he does. He's the brother in the field. He's not out here asking for money or anything like that. But I just feel the need where, great work, and they don't have the funding, but they're doing everything out of their pocket. They should be supported with some of the things that you have going on. So if you have any questions, definitely post them in the comment section, and we're going to ask or take a call again, take a couple questions, and then we will go from there. Stephen, any upcoming things? Hold on, somebody have you done any research on the Moors in America pre-slave trade? Somebody asked that question.
No, I haven't done a thing, but I do know about Abu Bakr II. He was in the Caribbean before Christopher Columbus even thought about coming to the Western Hemisphere. Go study Abu Bakr II. You'll learn a bit about. He was actually the brother of Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa, the richest man in the world. He took a massive fleet from West Africa and came to the West way before Christopher Columbus.
Okay, Brother John Ben Yisrael asked, he said, Shalom, why isn't the Solomon/Sheba lineage set out in scripture?
I couldn't answer that why it isn't, because I didn't compile the scripture. So, but what I could say is the Ethiopians, the evidence of it in Ethiopia is astounding. The evidence of it in Arabia is astounding. The natural evidence that you find of the lineage, not just the castles, everything that's there, been there for, even what Tafari inherited, it's been there for thousands of years. So it's not nothing new. Do you get what I mean? It's just something that's not really been, it's like with everything, not everything actually being highlighted in scriptures or every aspect of thing that our people went through, but definitely it's the evidence of our people there is undeniable. Ethiopia. You go to Ethiopia, on the walls, the chapels, the castles, it's all there in Ethiopia. That's why I want to go there, because I want to evidence and document things that many of us haven't seen. I've only got like pictures of it because friends have sent me pictures, and I'm like, I need to go to Ethiopia. Like, it's a must, because there's so much things that proves and shows of a Solomon lineage there. And it's just you've got even tribes of you got Israelite tribes up in the mountains that's got dreadlocks like Rastafarians, but they're not, and they'll tell you they're Israelites. People went to the flush of Moreh, and the Ethiopians who came, but we went to Israel, but there's so many other Israelite tribes in Ethiopia, and it's something I want to go document and do. I want to go there and bring that to light to people.
Well, we're going to plan to go to Ethiopia together.
Indeed, bro. That's the plan. That's the plan.
Yeah, definitely, man. We're going to plan to do that, to go there. That's going to be big. Brother Tiger Low said, can you post his funding information? We'll definitely do that towards the end. I'll let him give that out, so that way you guys can write it down, and then he'll come back and post it in the comment sections of the live. But also Curtis, Brother Moreh, Obadiah, aka Curtis Anderson, he asked a question. He said, what inspired you to travel and seek out truth?
My ancestral wake up is the ancestral wake up. Like I said, your DNA, you can't hide from it. The most scripture says, the prophets like David and Abraham, they slept with their fathers. We don't die, we sleep with our fathers, and the scripture says. So, it's in your DNA, it's in your blood, innit? You can't run from who you are. And for me, it just like wake up, that I had to just put my heart and soul into this instead of, just because I was actually working in sports at one time. Like I said, I graduated from medicine. I was working in sports. I was making good money, working with elite athletes. If you go on my sports website, stephengrahamprojects.com, you'll find me with like famous football players and boxers. I was doing all that stuff. But I decided to. I still do one or two. I still do personal training, but I didn't want to put my mind and my heart into all that. Like, you know, I could have made a lot more money than I'm making now, believe me. But for me, it ain't about the money. It's about following my journey. What makes me really happy. You get what I'm saying? Is money don't make you happy. It's what makes you happy. And for me, research and studying and paying like £500 for a book, you know, or just jump on a plane and spend a couple thousand on a documentary, it makes me happy. Is you know, it's not about I need to make a lot of money for me to pull out because YouTube won't pay you much. Do you get what I mean? But it's not the money, it's the experience that I learned. You can't put price on that experience and that feeling. So for me, like I said before, it takes me back to my mother, because my mother used to say certain things to me before when I was younger, and I kind of blew it off. I found off because it didn't really mean much to me. I was too young, my mind was naive, I was more in my trauma and my mindset. But it's you know, that time to reflect and, you know, reanalyze my life and let go of certain things and let certain emotions that was holding me back. Allowed me to just push forth and just go all out with these documentaries, and I just haven't stopped since. I just keep traveling and keep making films, and I enjoy it. And, you know, go willing, I'm going to make many, many more. I have a Stevie Flicks, like a Netflix, but a Stevie Flicks.
He does, I've seen the brother at work. He does personal training. He does, I think, self-defense and all that.
Yeah, I do knife defense, gun defense. I do a lot of that kind of stuff. Martial arts.
And man, oh, here's what I wanted to ask you really quick. I know we talked about this in conversation on the phone. And I think that, you know, you always have people that are naysayers. I thank the Most High for bringing this back to my memories. People will sit up here and watch this and pick out what they want to pick out of this. People will say, there they go pushing their heritage. There they go pushing this tribe and all that other stuff. Let me ask you this question. Does your tribe and does your ethnicity, does that save you? Does that redeem you?
No. Your tribe and ethnicity don't save you. No, it don't redeem you. Redemption, no, that's not, redemption ain't gonna come through that. That's, like I said, it's about giving back your heart and mind to the Most High. The scriptures tells you now that you mean you're saying just because I'm an Israelite or being black or what?
Yeah, I mean, because we have a lot of people here in the West, you know, they seem to think because we talk the way we're talking and bringing out historical evidence and facts about, you know, history, that we're trying to push a race salvation ethnicity type teaching.
If anyone listens to where I speak, I don't just push a race like a thing. I push a mankind thing for all the human race, because Abraham, all the sons of Adam pushing to, because the scripture made all mankind be blessed in Abraham. And the Messiah is supposed to be a light to the Gentiles and light to the ends of the earth. So he's not just a light for the children of Israel, though he's a light in the glory of the children of Israel. I have a documentary called Love Israel, Glory of Jerusalem in the World. Watch and understand this concept of the light isn't new to the children of Israel. It was a part of our glory before the Messiah became David's seed. But the point I'm making is, you know, when we came out of Egypt, we led by a flame of fire. But the point I'm making is it's not just about the children of Israel. You're just being an Israelite ain't gonna save you, or because of whatever tribe you're from, or that's not gonna save you. Do you get what I'm saying? It's about you. Like I said, there are choices. There's choices. Most I give choices. You know, you have to literally give your heart, mind, and soul to this. And you can't fool nobody. You can't fool people, but you can't fool the Most High. Do you get what I'm saying? You can fool man, but you cannot fool the Most High. So if you're doing this work for the Most High will become known. Do you get what I'm saying? You might look today like you're doing it for the Most High, and tomorrow you fall off the wagon because you're not real for this thing. So it's about your sincerity and your devotion to the Most High. The Most High will push you all the way. And that's the thing, is like, it don't matter because you're a person that is like, you can be born Israelite, don't mean you'll be better. Because the Bible tells you, I forget what scripture says, it says some of the strangers will get better names than even children born amongst the children of Israel. That's also in the scriptures. So much of the scripture tells you again, remember the scripture tells you again that we will suck off the strength, we will suck off the breast of the Gentiles, and we will have all this stuff from them, and we will have all their wealth, right? But then again, scripture also tells you that some of them will also have better names than us.
Yeah, even
against choices. Against choices. So you see, it's not about who you are as only as an individual, it's about the devotion and the dedication to Moses. Like I said you in the law from the beginning. Like I said, it's nothing new. Moses told you in the beginning that the stranger, he's circumcised like you. He'll be a joint Passover. You don't, like, you have to understand yourself that you have to understand that it's the bigger picture. Is not just being Israel as alone is going to save you in this. It's how you proceed and carry forth yourself and how you share your insight to life with others. Because again, we have to understand, like I said, we polarize energy, and the unseen is more powerful than the seen. Most I made it very clear in scripture, the unseen is much more powerful than the seen. So the unseen, not what we're doing physically and make everybody see, but our unseen is more important. Do you get what I mean? So It's not. It's neither here or there. Just because you're Israelite, mean you're going to be saved. That don't even make no sense to me. That don't even cut with me.
I mean, even Yeshua said that that there would be Gentiles or strangers that come from the ends of the earth and sit at the table with Abraham in days. And not only that, but the children of Israel, many of them shall be cast into outer darkness.
Of course.
So start looking at that, you start asking this, wait a minute, no, that's not what we're saying. The subject of the conversation in which we're having is based off the discovery of many who are around the world who are not just because we're dark people, melanated people, don't mean that we're Hamitic people, as many would say. But the children of Israel are also those who are of melanin descent.
But again, the children of Israel also have Hamitic in them too. Because remember, some of the Egyptians mingled with the children of Israel.
Yeah.
So we have to understand. Remember, the most I said in the power of the Lord, people think we can't mingle, but most in the laws also tell you that, it says don't give itself unto strangers. No, it says we cannot mix, but we cannot mix with certain people. It's not we can't mix with everybody. That means we can't mix with people whose heart and mind is not devoted to the Most High God.
That's right.
We have to be very careful when we say we can't mix.
Yeah.
Like we say, we can't mix in Israelites. Amongst even Israelites, if you read scripture properly, Israelites could be mixed amongst our tribes. I don't want people have understood that. Even amongst our tribes, Levites didn't really mingle with Benjamins. And I can prove that from scriptures. There's certain scriptures that make it very clear you kept your father's house.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making, so that's there's an understanding about the land. Again, back to the creation and Most High creation and the land and the blessing. Remember, the land was given to Abraham. We understand the blessing of land because this blessing of land goes back to predating Abraham, even to Noah. Remember when if you read the book of Jubilees, when Shem was given a specific land, Noah was happy because that land also included Mount Zion, which is upon a holy place. So we have to understand like this whole blessing of Zion goes back way before Abraham, even Abraham was even born. But this is that's a whole other conversation still. But what I'm saying is we have to really understand the depths of us as a people. It's not just because I'm an Israelite, I'm better than anybody else who's not Israelite. That's never the walk or shouldn't be your thought pattern. Because you're thinking that sense, just because you are calling a responsibility. With great responsibility comes with great power comes great responsibility. So if you know you're the Israelite and you have this power to, this within your DNA, there's a certain power and a certain joy in your DNA. It's a responsibility how you conduct yourself to mankind, then, isn't it?
Right.
Put it like that. So for us to look at ourselves being better or superior to other people, that's actually not what we're supposed to be doing. What we're supposed to be doing is re-educating all mankind. Whether you're a Hamite, Shemite, whatever, it's about re-educating all mankind to, Japhetite is about re-educating mankind to the ways of the Most High. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's how I see the scripture. I don't see the scripture where I'm going to look at it as I'm better than nobody else. And, this boy is inferior to me, this white boy, or this black boy over here is inferior to me, or this is that brother don't know as much as me. I have no time for them kind of thing. That's just ego. That's your own ego looking, looking to to pamper your own ego. It's about knowledge. There's no time for rates. You have to keep seeking, keep studying, because more said that his knowledge to us is like a drop in a bucket. So there's enough knowledge. And we think about if you can't, none of us can go to a sand and pick up one hand of sand and know how much grains in that. The Most High knows.
Yeah.
Most High knows how much sand is on the earth, every grain. Yet we can't even pick up a handful of sand, know how much is in our hand. So man shouldn't even go out with the ego thing. You feel me? Like, bond that. Like, you get what I'm saying? So man have to really, like, for me personally, I'm not really on that kind of journey. My journey is more, you get what I'm saying, humble and just, seek knowledge and just live. And just re-educate mankind on the whole.
All right, we got one more question, and we're gonna allow you to give your information out. Brother David Eshon asked a question. He says, Stephen, are more people in Jamaica accepting their Hebrew heritage?
I don't know. I know when I was incarcerated out there, because I was incarcerated for a long time, a lot of youths in prison was started to look at it and start see it for themselves. But I think it's growing because Caesar recently. I mean, back to let's say I want to say this to everybody. I want the whole world to understand this quickly. Jamaica was actually one of the first places. In fact, Jamaica was the first place in the whole Western world to actually acknowledge the Israelite root. Let me go back to this. 1930. Not much people talk about the Israelites. 1930, Tafari was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia, King of Kings. If you look at a picture of Jamaica when Tafari was crowned, and that time Ethiopia, before he came to Jamaica in 1966, in 1930, you had a picture of people with dreadlocks dragging to their feet. Jamaican, I grew up knowing this history about Jamaica. Jamaica had a history, we had a We had history of knowing that Jamaicans call themselves Israelites at one time. That's why Rasta still call themselves Israelites. Rasta were Israelites, but we are Rastafari, Israelites, blah, 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 blah. They added Rastafari to Israelites because after 1930, Jamaicans, because of Garvey said, look for coming for black king, Jamaicans stopped calling themselves Israelites, a lot of them, and started to call themselves Rastafarians because Rastafari was crowned. Rastafari, his name was Rastafari, his crown. And they said, oh, Rast mean the head and blah, 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 Rastafari. So they took the name Rastafari. So in a way, God, no disrespect to them, but they strayed in that sense, where they stopped seeing themselves as Israelites. They still call themselves Israelites, but again, most reggae music, under it, they always say, you know, Rasta, they say Israelites. But Jamaica had that Israelite concept for a very long time. In fact, the first one to educate me about being an Israelite, even though my mum did tell me as a youth, was actually, as I talk about in my book, what I wrote, was actually a Jamaican guy. I saw him eating meat. He brought me to his house. He had dreadlocks. I said to him, why are you eating meat? He's like one of the people that held on to the Asian tradition. I goes to him, like, I goes, you're not a Rasta, like, you're a Rasta, like, you eating meat. I was kind of being a bit disrespectful when he goes, no, I'm an Israelite. And I said, what? And I was like, but I'm used to Rastafarians because I used to have locks myself. You know, for those who don't know, I had dreadlocks. I was a Rasta myself. And I was like, but he made me know I'm an Israelite. And he kind of brought me back to Israelite understanding of life. Do you get what I'm saying? So the point I'm making is that concept of right now, I would say Scissor's starting to wake up to that because Scissor's built a museum, he called it the Rastafari Hebrew Israelite Museum. But again, they're still trying to hold on to the name Rastafari. I can't tell nobody what to do and I wouldn't. But I just know the Israelites need to, Jamaica has a very rich Israelite history. And as Jamaicans say, they don't say Jamaica, they say it's Yamaica or Jamaica. You understand? Jamaica. But will they wake up to acknowledging who they are? That's another story. But I haven't been in Jamaica for a long time to answer the brothers. But I do know from friends who are telling me there's a lot of Israelites, you know, slowly wake up in Jamaica. But I just want people to know it's not new in Jamaica, the Rastafari, the Israelite movement. It actually predates the Rastafari movement and goes back into the 1800s. But Jamaicans just, like I said, in 1930 kind of went a different way, you know? So yeah, that's a quick little history of Jamaica.
Well, man, we appreciate you for coming on. You dropped so much knowledge on us dealing with many call the Middle East, which is Northeast Africa. We showed several of your documentaries, clips from them. And ultimately we showed the ancient Moroccan Jews that were in Morocco, predating any European Jews that was there. And we thank you for all the work that you do in the field. You are on the ground. You're not giving secondhand information, but you're giving on the ground information. We appreciate that. Go ahead and give out your YouTube channel. Go ahead and give out your website and all these things. And don't forget, we are going to Ethiopia together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. We did. Listen, that I'm gonna send you. I've already started editing the footage. I've been planning this idea for a long time. So I'm gonna send the footage. Then we can create we can do what we're gonna do and we'll go from there. Just plan this trip to Ethiopia. But my website, my YouTube channel is SG Media on YouTube. My Facebook, Stephen Graham. My Instagram is Stephen Graham Media. And my website is stephengraham.net, Stephen with a PH, because it's not spelled, it's people, you don't call it Stephen in it, but yeah, Stephen with a PH, stephengraham.net. And I don't really have what's some things, what's some things
like GoFundMe or whatever?
Yeah, I don't really have a GoFundMe in that because like I said, I'm not that it's not a struggle to do, but I just do. But I do have on my website though something called don't really use it much, but I have it. It's a donation page, a donation tab, where it's connected to my eBay. That's all I have on my thing, so people can go into that. You know, just go onto my website, stephengraham.net, and then you click the donation tab, and then you can donate there, which I appreciate anyone donates because, yeah, I've got a lot of traveling to do. I should have been in America recently. I was supposed to be in America about 3-4 weeks ago. I was supposed to be in America. I'm supposed to chop up with some brothers in Chicago and go down to Texas and chop up with brothers over there. So, you know, and I'm supposed to be in Kenya as well because I want to go Kenya still. And because, again, there's a lot of history there I want to go to travel. And I want to go around East Africa still. And I do plan to go Ethiopia, bro. We're going to go Ethiopia. We go Ethiopia. We have to go Ethiopia because I want to show the monuments and the evidence of the Israelite history in Ethiopia. And we got to bear in mind, after Second Temple AD, a lot of Israelites ran into Arabia. Because remember, even Lemba tribe, a lot of tribes, even in West Africa, they say they came through the Arabia. The Fulani, they say they came through the Arabia way. They didn't go straight in from Egypt into West Africa. They came through Arabia. And Arabia, they call Yithrib. To Yusuf, now it's called Medina, was the Israelite stronghold. That's where Prophet Muhammad's great grandmother comes from. She was an Israelite. Do you get what I mean? So it's really important that we oh, sorry, my little princess. It's really hello. It's really important that we you know, we because I think a lot of us miss out this history of Israelites in, you know, Arabia, Israelites in Yemen, Israelites in Ethiopia, and don't understand the connection of, you know, we have a very powerful history in those places, and we still have descendants there as well. And it's, for me, it's about, that's the next place we need to really, you know, drop the bombs on, and that's why I got this book right now I'm writing called Oneness. You know, which is gonna drop some bombs. It's gonna be, you know, it's gonna ruffle up a lot of feathers, and you know what I'm saying, shake up some doctrines, but it's all good. You know, you can't have change without shaking up a few. They say a few unsteady foundations. As Jesus said, remember Jesus said in the Bible, he said about building a house on a sand, built on a rock. And we got to understand when he meant that. A lot of people think that when he's talking about, he talked about people will come to him and he'll be like, well, no, it's not actually so, because you got it's the rock. A lot of people think that Jesus talking about himself. He wasn't. If you look in the Hebrew scriptures, we call the Most High God our rock. Throughout the laws, David calls God the rock. Jesus will talk about himself. This is where a lot of people got misluded. Now I'll let out that secret, but there's more to add to it. When Jesus talked about the rock and talked about building a house on the sand was Jesus talked about the sand was actually referring to himself.
Right.
He wasn't talking about the Most High. He was talking about himself, referring to the rock as the Most High God. As he said, when you build a house, you build it upon a rock, because when you build it on the rock, because he was a monotheist. Jesus, even Jesus said, I believe in what God tells me. But yeah, I mean, we can chop it up. We can try. You know, there's a lot. Like I said, I got a book coming out. It's gonna just ruffle a lot of feathers. It's gonna, you know, it's gonna be beautiful. And yeah, like me and you gonna continue chop it up. We got a lot to do, bro. You know, our kindred spirits allow us to unite all the time. Even when we don't see each other, we still good. You know what I'm saying? When we see each other, we good. So it's all good. It's just So yeah, man. I just appreciate you having me. And like I said, anyone wanna find me on Instagram, Stephen Graham Media. My website, stephengraham.net, and there you can, if you know anyone who would donate, I really appreciate it. You know, it will truly help. And yeah, bro, maybe we need to create a GoFundMe for that Ethiopia trip, because
we'll get together on that, man, and
that's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna work. Everything gonna definitely work out. And once you come to America, you definitely coming to Atlanta.
Oh, no, 100, bro. Once they open the things that I can fly again, you know, I'm there, bro. And I'm gonna definitely link you up, man. Somehow we're gonna make it. You know, we're just gonna get linked together and, you know, do something live. We get some music together. I want a song with you. I want to do a song with you. We go do a song together as well, bro. So
that's what's up, man. So man, blessings to you, man. Thank you for coming on,
man. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody, man. Everybody, Shabbat Shalom, man, for everybody as well, man. You know, everybody enjoy Shabbat, man. I stay blessed. Thank you all for tuning in.
Shalom.
Shalom, man.
All right, so brothers and sisters, thank you, man. I hope all of you, man, enjoyed yourself with brother Stephen Graham, man. Definitely a dope brother, man. I really appreciate him for coming on. And brother is just awesome, man. Awesome brother, man. Thank everybody. Don't forget, man, y'all go on there, check it out. And I'm pretty sure Stephen will come back on and put some comments in the comment section and really build with y'all and talk with y'all. I will be coming back on probably sometime tomorrow night. I'm going to be presenting some information, a lesson on pretty much dealing with the infiltration. And so I'm going to be dealing with infiltration, and I'm going to be doing some things, the rise of Kemet and the infiltration, the rise of Kemet and its infiltration. So I hope all of you, man, tune in. That will more than likely probably be tomorrow night after Shabbat. Also, don't forget, man, to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This will be on YouTube tonight, premiering probably around 8 o'clock tonight. So if you want to have some of your family and friends, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go on YouTube and search Boom Church on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe. Not only subscribe, but don't forget to hit the bell. Once you subscribe, you hit the bell so that way you can be notified anytime I upload videos, anytime I go live, any of that. All right, definitely, man. Don't forget to hit up if you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area and would like to come fellowship with us at Boom Church. You can send us an email to boomchurch@gmail.com. If you're in the Houston area, you would like to fellowship with us, just send us an email. If you're in Jacksonville, Florida, send us an email. If you're in South Florida, you can send us an email, South Florida, Fort Lauderdale area. If you're also in Nairobi, Kenya, and you would like to be a part of what we have going on, send us an email. If you are in the High Point, North Carolina area, and you want to be a part of our congregation and fellowship, send us an email. If you are also in the Akron, Canton, Ohio, or Cleveland area, and you want to be a part of what's going on with Boom, you can send us an email. Once again, it's Boom Church, I as in Indiana, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, @gmail.com. That's boomchurchint@gmail.com. And don't forget to go on to YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that is Boom Church. Shalom to you all, and grace to you all.